Hey everybody, it's Rabbi Shmuel Pollen back with you for the Light Unto the Nations show. It's another episode, a special episode, unlike any other episode. If there's one show you watch from this series, this is the video that you should watch. And I know I say something like that about every video that I do, but I really mean it this time. This is going to draw a line in the sand. You are going to know who you are and what you want to do for the rest of your life because of this video. If I do my job properly as a guide in your life, as a rabbi and a mentor. And let's just say that you go around your life and you go to an ice cream shop and you go to a movie and you go to get a tattoo and you drive around and it's not clear. It's not clear what you're doing, if you're doing it for God or you're doing it for Satan. And there's a very good chance that a lot of the things that you're doing are worshiping Satan. And by worshiping, I mean that he has control over your heart and your mind. And that means you are worshiping him. You are going along with his plan. You are doing his will. You are being a Satanist. You are a Satan worshiper, whether you realize it or not. Now, let me just lay the groundwork and say that Satan is real. We have Satan in the Bible. The Bible is proven real in many of these videos. And it actually happened that there was a walking, talking snake that tried to oppose God and get Adam and Eve to sin. So what God said was one thing, and what Satan did, who was a snake, was the complete opposite. And that's who Satan is. He is called the accuser or the opposer in Hebrew, and that is because he opposes every single thing that God says. That's his job. He has power over your thoughts. If you've ever had a inappropriate, extremely inappropriate thought in your head, like, I want to do something terrible to that little boy over there, and then you're like, what? Why did I just think that? Where did that come from? Well, it came from Satan. He injects thoughts into people's minds, like mothers giving up a child to become a suicide bomb. That's not normal. That is a mind taken over by Satan. But it's not just these errant thoughts that Satan takes over. It's really everything we do. He's there with every thought that we have. He's there with everything we do. And he is trying to get us to sin. He's trying to get us to oppose God. And he is powerful, beyond powerful. He is as powerful as God himself. So God controls all the good thoughts. And for every good thought, there's a negative thought from Satan. That's what he does. He's there to oppose. And God actually gives him the power to be able to do that because he wants more drama in this movie of creation, this movie of history. He wants there to be an antagonist, but he will also be punished for what he's doing because he has gone too far. He's taken his power and done more damage to the human being than he is supposed to do. He's supposed to tempt us. He's not supposed to destroy us. And what he's doing is destroying us. So let's get into it. What things does Satan control? How can we know if it's from Satan or not? I'm going to give you two lists. I'm going to give you a list of the things that come from Satan and a list of things that come from God. And how do I know what's on each list? Because of the Bible, which was revealed to mankind in front of 600,000 men between 20 and 60, and 3 million men, women, and children, including philosophers and beggars and everybody in between, all saw this event that God revealed himself and gave us the Bible. And in this Bible, God says, do this, and Satan will say, do the exact opposite. We're going to start with Satan. We're going to go through a list, and forgive me for looking off camera as I go through the list because it is a lot to remember on my own. Here we go. Drugs, rape, murder, indecent exposure, cheating, alcoholism, depression, anxiety, bars, clubs, the hookup culture, bipolar, schizophrenia, marital abuse, confusion, child abuse, stealing, lying, procrastinating, cheating, including cheating on diets, grudges, gossip, war, diabetes, divorce, mental abuse, atheism, tattoos, homosexuality, incest, and transgenderism, bestiality, mental abuse, atheism, hell, being an ingrate, taking things for granted, procrastination, masturbation, laziness, anger, arrogance, self harm, suicide, bad music, which is music about sex, is one way it could be bad, music, bad movies, which could be about sex or could be about promoting the satanic lifestyle and promoting satanic qualities and glorifying them, guilt, Satan worship, rap about drugs, immodest clothing, emo, and death. And emo worships death, and many cults worship death. We know in Waco, Texas, they all killed themselves. They drank the Kool-Aid, so to speak. So how do I know this is all from Satan? Because Satan's job is to push exactly the opposite of what God wants, and what God wants is in the Bible. We can open it up. We can see you're not supposed to be homosexual. You're not supposed to get tattoos. You're not supposed to marry your sister. We can see all these things directly in the Bible, and we know that's what you're not supposed to do. So that's what Satan wants, and that's what we all have urges to do. We all have these urges, and it's totally natural. We don't have to feel bad that we have these urges, but step by step, slowly, slowly, we need to master these urges. We need to make them under our control so we're not enslaved by them. So when you get a tattoo, you just don't think anything about it, but you don't realize that it says in the Bible, don't get tattoos, and Satan is giving you the idea to get a tattoo, and you don't even know why you're doing it. And often we have women on shows that are get up the dress or wear the dress. There are shows about women dressing up in wedding gowns, and they want the tattoo to show. They want to make a space in the wedding gown for the tattoo to show. Now, it makes no sense that a woman in a white, beautiful, pure dress would want a tattoo to show through. It's only the craziness, the madness of Satan's thinking. It's what he injects into your thoughts. A normal person would never want such a thing. If you continue with any of these traits, with any of these activities, you will become an addict to it. You will want it more and more and more, and to the point that you can't resist it. It will have power over you, and you won't be able to explain it. It will take you to hell, and if not hell in this world, then hell in the next world. Satan will get you. But it says Satan is the master of hell because he dishes out all of these qualities and activities that make you addicted. Jewish people, in their prayers, very, very often mention the redemption from Egypt, because Egypt was what embodied all of these satanic qualities. You notice the symbol of the Illuminati, which comes from Egypt, is the pyramid. The pyramid represents all these fleshly, addictive, evil traits. And they got the Jews enslaved. This is why they had to go out of enslavement. They got enslaved to these addictive traits. But in the physical sense, they got enslaved because they got them to actually work on building not the pyramids, but other cities. And they would, Pharaoh, the leader of all the evil traits, came out with the Jews and said, we're doing this patriotically. We're going to do this all together. This is going to be a big project for Egypt. We're going to make Egypt great again. And the Jews joined with him. And then later, Pharaoh slipped out, and the taskmasters came in, and they just encouraged them with their words to do some work and do a little more work. And next thing you know, they're whipping them, and they're whipping them harder and harder and harder until eventually they can often whip them to death. So they lost everything because they indulged in the first sin, and that led to another sin, to another sin. Whereas on the good side of things, which we'll get to now, one good act always leads to another good act, to another good act, to another good act. So there really is no neutral. There really is no middle ground. You're either moving down or you're moving up. That's what my mentor was asked once by a non-religious Jew. He's like, "What do you think of me? Do you think I'm good or do you think I'm bad? Do you think I'm a good Jew or a not good Jew?" The Rebbe said, "I don't think of it like that. I think of it like you're on a ladder, and the question is, are you going up or are you going down? So I ask you, are you going up or are you going down? That's what I would really like to know." Um, why worship God? Well, here's what God offers up. This is what you can get when you sacrifice a little bit of yourself, when you sacrifice a little bit of your urges and you go with God: peace, stability, calm, freedom, happiness, optimism, common ground with others, acts of kindness, gratitude, togetherness, modesty, purity, holiness, heaven, power, innocence, energy, courage, goals, overcoming obstacles, conscience, the Bible, prayer, trust, heaven, paradise, bliss, love, awe, romance, cleanliness, cleanly playfulness, truth, conviction, stability, pride, clarity, wisdom, a holy warmth, health, and life. I recommend that if you want a good life, that you choose God. It's not just about the next world and whether you're going to heaven or hell. Heaven and hell are here and now. You can see people who are addicted. You can see people who are obese. You can see people who are addicted to smoking, drugs, people who are serial rapists, people who are serial this, serial that. It always happens again and again and again because they haven't gone out of Egypt. They haven't found their way out of their urges. They haven't realized that they have another choice. They haven't realized that they have a godly soul. They have another choice as to what to do. To serve God, go to Chabad.org, Chabad.org, and enlighten yourself. Educate yourself about the Bible and what God wants. You can also go to theyeshiva.net, the yeshiva, YESHIVA.net, and you can learn from YY Jacobson, who is an incredible rabbi. Learn from us. Learn from the Jewish people. We got the Torah in order to teach it to you. That's the whole purpose of the Torah, to spread it out to all lengths. Ask people for forgiveness. Compliment people. Put a few coins a day in a charity box. Try to get a charity box from some charity. And you will get more and more ideas from Chabad.org, or just looking up on Google ways to give charity without spending money. And watch my videos. I have about 60 videos, if not more. And you can learn about the Hasidic ways to happiness, and you will achieve happiness, and you'll get 15 proofs that God exists, and He most definitely does. And you can go through those proofs and really think about it and talk about it with your science teachers, your professors, scientists that you know. Show them the video and see what comes out of it. But be on the path to righteousness. Be on the path to goodness. This will set you in the proper way. This will set you on a path towards happiness. Make the right choice. I hope you will choose God. If you choose Satan, you have a long, hard road ahead of you, and you will eventually hit rock bottom and find God anyway. Better to find God now and not go through all of that pain. It takes sacrifice to be better. It takes sacrifice to withhold your desires to eat that cake, to break your diet. But when you do, you will get the long-lasting pleasure, because Satan wants to give you a little bit of pleasure now and eventually enslave you over the long term. God wants you to do a little bit of sacrifice now and free you from all your temptations over the long term. God bless.